we'll take action and activate both of my guys. And then we'll next, all attack. And good game. Alright everyone, so this is our list for today. It is a Rakdos Vampires list. This deck has been done in the past, but I wanted to add a little bit of spice to this deck. And we're doing that with a few new vampires. One is Preacher of the Schism, which came out in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It is a 2/4 for 3 mana. It has Death Touch. And whenever Preacher of the Schism attacks the player with the most life, or tied for the most life, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. And whenever Preacher of the Schism attacks while you have the most life, or are tied for the most life, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So it's a little way to get more board presence or more hand presence, all in a pretty decently priced 3 mana. So we got Preacher of the Schism in here, and we also have brand new, the Vein Ripper. Is a 6/5 flying and ward of sacrifice a creature. And whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So because the fact that this deck is mostly a pretty quick deck, like most of the deck is 1 through 3, you're not going to run into a lot of situations where Vein Ripper is going to be on the table, unless the game goes a little bit too long. But the Vein Ripper is here because it is a great top end to end the game, and it happens to be a vampire. And a 6/5 flying body is nothing to scoff at. Now, a few of the synergies in the deck are blood tokens. You have Voldaren Epicure, Blood-Tithe Harvester, Sanguine Statuette, and Anye, Maid of Dishonor. All of these create blood tokens or care about blood tokens being in play. Specifically, the Sanguine Statuette can animate into a 3/3 hasty vampire when you sacrifice a blood token for any reason. Blood-Tithe Harvester is here as a great backup removal effect that also creates blood tokens. And then Anye acts as a way to drain out the opponent whenever you sacrifice another creature or blood token. Now, the great part about being able to sacrifice a creature with Anye means that you can use it to trigger Vein Ripper's ability, because Vein Ripper reads whenever a creature dies, not whenever a creature an opponent controls dies. It can be any of your creatures as well. So with Anye on the table, you can either sacrifice a creature or a blood token, and if you sacrifice a creature, it'll trigger Anye's Drain for 2, and also Vein Ripper's Drain for 2. So it can be a great way to end the game without even attacking. Other than that, we have 4 copies of the Markov Baron, and we have a couple copies of Florian. Florian is great for getting yourself a little bit of impulse draw after an attack. And we have some Vampire Socialites. That is a good way to get some +1 counters on some of your weaker vampires after combat. And Removal Suite, you're looking at 3 Bitter Triumph, 4 Lightning Strike. That's all the removal for the deck. So the removal is a little bit light, but I wanted to have Bitter Triumph in here to take care of things that are a little bit too big for Blood-Tithe Harvester to hit. So that's it. That's the deck. Mana base. Swamps, Takenuma, Mountain, Sokunzan, Blackcleave, Haunted Ridge, 3 Restless Vents, and 3 Sulphurous Springs. So it's a pretty standard deck, with the real sauce being between Anye, Vein Ripper, and Preacher of the Schism. That's all the real new stuff and good synergizing stuff. So that's the deck. Let's take it out there, play some games. I'll stop rambling and show you some games now. Okay, so we get to go first this time. We have 3 vampires in the 2 CMC slot and 4 lands. We'll keep it. Alright, first land is going to be a swamp. Opponent plays a Restless Anchorage, so we're probably up against blue-white control. Blood-Tithe Harvester comes in. Alright, play another Restless Anchorage. We will play a Swamp, and then we will attack for 3. And follow that up with a Vampire Socialite. Get a +1 counter on that Blood Tithe Harvester. End turn. And they play a third Restless Anchorage into a Sunset Revelry. Alright, we will play a Sulphurous Springs into a Markov Baron. Then we will attack as such. Alright, they block my Blood Tithe Harvester. The other one gets through. And then we end the turn. They cast Temporary Lockdown. Resolve. Alright, the Markov Baron stays on the table. We will play Takanuma as a land. And then we'll play Sanguine Statuette. Autopay. Alright, comes in. Let's go ahead and activate that blood token. And throw away the Bitter Triumph. Take action. Alright, comes in. Ooh, let's go ahead and hit that Voldaren Epicure as well. Right. Creates another blood token. And now we attack for 6. And then we end the turn. We play a 4th Restless Anchorage. That is the only land they played all game. Appears to me that they are mulling through their options. They play a Celestis. Need to get some more land going. Alright, my turn. Okay, we're going to play a Sanguine Statuette. Autopay. Creates a blood token. We will activate said blood token by discarding Blood Tithe Harvester. We'll take action and activate both of my guys. And then we'll next, I'll attack. And good game. Okay, let's see what we got here. We have a Haunted Ridge, a Swamp, and a Sokensan. 2 Blood Tithe Harvesters, an Anye, and a Sanguine Statuette. So we're going to be making a lot of blood tokens this game. And our opponent goes first, unfortunately. Alright, they play an island, and we get a Voldaren Epicure. So we'll go ahead and play that now. Let's see if they are mono blue or not. It's entirely possible. Yep, double island. Into Impulse, yep, it's mono blue. For some reason, specifically this island shows up in more mono blue lists than anything else. So like you can almost always tell that that's going to be a mono blue list if they are showing you exactly that island. I don't know why. Alright, Socialite's on the table. They're hovering my Socialite, so maybe they want to bounce it. What you gonna do? I have to play an island into a sleight of hand. Okay, so they're looking for something. To Witness Protection. Okay, that's an interesting move. Well, it does shut off the effect though, so I can't really say it's that bad of an idea. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and play a Sanguine Statuette. Alright, statuette's on the table. Let's go ahead and activate this. Discard the Vein Ripper. Statuette becomes a creature. Take action. And then we draw a card for the blood token. Okay, the Fading Hope it. I kind of expected. Alright, there's our card draw. We attack. Alright. 4th island. Do a consider. I think they might be trying to find a creature at this point. Either a Tolarian Terror or the Haughty Djinn. Yep, there's the Tolarian Terror. Alright. So, play Sulphur Springs into Blood Tithe Harvester and a Blood Tithe Harvester. That way we can eliminate the Tolarian Terror next turn. Yeah, I don't think we're attacking this turn, so let's just convoke this into play. There we go. Alright, they cast Thirst for Discovery. Draw 3 and then discard 2, unless you discard a basic land. There's the land. Alright, our turn. We activate. Targeting there, yes. Resolve. What you doing? You autopay. And it goes through. Very nice. Alright. And next. Attack. They maybe have a bounce effect. Got 4 cards in hand. They should have something for me. There's a Fading Hope. Okay. So, we resolve that. Goes back to hand. So they saved themselves a bit of damage. They kept that card on top, so that must be important to them. Alright. And after that, we play the Sanguine Statuette and create another blood token. And Thirst for Discovery again. Trying to find another creature to block with. You discard an island. And they did not have anything. Okay, so, in that case, we discard the Markov Baron. We will take action. Statue becomes a 3/3. And we will cast the Markov Baron. Autopay. Casting for its Madness effect. Okay, that's fine. As the scatter happens. There's still 9 damage on the board. Okay, there you go. They Fading Hope the Sanguine Statuette. They bought themselves another turn. Ooh, did draw land though. Let's go and play that. Alright, they are at 3 health remaining. Let's see what they do with this last turn. Important to remember that the Sanguine Statuette has haste when it becomes a creature. So if they do play a creature, we should still be able to get around it. They only have 2 cards left in hand. And I still have lethal on the board. What do you got for me, champ? Please don't route me. Either make a decision or move along. This is one thing I can't stand. It's people who start to rope once they realize that there's nothing they can do. Alright, they cast Consider. They're going to surveil one and draw a card. So they surveilled the impulse away in hopes of getting something better. Alright, my turn. Okay, so we're going to play the Sanguine Statuette. See if they have a negate or something to prevent this coming into play. So, as it is right now, I have lethal on the board. Sanguine Statuette makes it more lethal. And if they somehow manage to eliminate 2 of my creatures, I still have Voldaren Epic here to get that last point of damage in. They're using all their timeouts. I don't think there's anything that Mono Blue can do in this situation to prevent the win. Yeah, they're just using their timeouts. That's what happens. Alright. Activate. Discard Anya. Sanguine Statuette becomes a creature with haste. Draw a card. Play the Restless Fence. Next, next. Then we swing in. And that is that. You put up a fight, Mono Blue. That wasn't enough. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we're looking at Restless Fence, Swamp, and Mountain. Vampire Socialite, 2 Preachers, and a Lightning Strike. Looks decent, I'll keep it. Alright, so we got a Wooded Ridgeline from the opponent, so they are at least in Gruul. Based off of their avatar, they might be playing Naya Dinosaurs, or Nyasaurs. Restless Vent comes in first, because I don't really have any good turn 1 plays. Oh, they are playing Dinosaurs. I should have seen that coming a mile away. Oh wait, I did. Alright, let's play Vampire Socialite. See if they play anything big. Oh, no, they just bite my boy. Ow. Alright, let's go and play Mountain into Preacher of the Schism. Alright, they play another tapped land into Intrepid. Okay, so let's go and play another Restless Fence, and then I'm going to attack for 2. We're going to create another vampire. Alright, beat in, and then I'm going to play a Blood Tithe Harvester. And then we end the turn. Ooh, and a Fight Rigging. Okay. Resolve. Pass. Alright, Fight Rigging gives a +1 right there. Pass. Alright, so they decided not to attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Sokenzon as a land. And then I'm going to Lightning Strike that. Then I'm going to destroy that. Okay. They tapped for some mana. I'm going to play another Preacher of the Schism. And then we're going to attack. That sets us up pretty nicely. Thrashing Brontodon. What does that do? Sacrifice, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and Bitter Triumph that. We'll pay 3 life. to destroy that. Uh-oh. He wants to destroy my my blood token. I'm okay with it. Next. Next. Attack. Make more boys. Okay, they're down to 10. I have a feeling this game might be ending pretty quickly. Deal another damage. Make a token. They play a Gwenna. Okay. And they end. Yep. Alright. Not too bad. Okay, we got our games in, and we are back with the post-game wrap-up, and thoughts are as follows. Make it more aggro. If you can manage to get in under your opponent, this deck will definitely lead you to a lot of wins. The longer the game goes on, the harder it is to win games. Vein Ripper is a great top end against certain decks, but in a lot of matchups, you're going to end up discarding this to blood tokens. Anya is fantastic. I love Anya in every situation I have her in, but again, top end at 4 and 6 mana, they tend to be cards that get thrown away for blood tokens. But the 1 into 2 into 3, this little pipeline that you have right here, is really solid, especially if you manage to get a Voldaren Epicure on 1 and a Vampire Socialite on 2. The Florian is... I like it at a 2 of. I don't think I want to go up to 3 of, because in most cases, I want to either play Creature of the Schism or Markov Baron on 3. Especially if you can throw away a blood token to madness this into play. It's a really good madness play. Florian is good for catching up when you're behind on value. The first strike on a 3/3 body is nothing to scoff at, though. Sanguine Statuette is really, really strong, especially when you're playing against control decks that want to get you into a corner and hold you there. That little bit of haste is really, really solid. Vampire Socialite, Blood Tenth Harvester, really good. Lightning Strike to finish games. Bitter Triumph to get rid of sticky opponents. Pretty solid too. I would say if I were to make any changes to this deck, I would probably either ditch the Vein Ripper or maybe move some numbers around at this top end. Again, the Vein Ripper is good in some matchups, but in most matchups, I tend to throw it out for card draw off of blood tokens. Getting a Lightning Strike off of a draw from discarding a Vein Ripper or finding your removal tends to be a little bit better, especially because this deck kind of wants to win around turn 5. Which is just a little bit too fast to be caring about Vein Ripper. So I think Vein Ripper might be good for a different style of deck. This deck wants to be a little bit faster. So there it is. That's my thoughts on the deck. I personally like it. As far as vampire decks go, I do like the Rakdos Vampires more than the Orzhov Vampires, just because it flows a little bit quicker. And that 1 into 2 into 3 drop pipeline that I was talking about earlier, it's just really solid. And the blood token synergies are really, really good with this style of deck. So I like it a lot. So there it is. That's the deck. If you are interested in checking out this deck yourself, or maybe even further iterating on it yourself, I will leave a link to the deck list in the description box down below. And now that you've seen it, go play some games. Take care of yourselves.